In 30 minutes, broadcasting's finest duo will hit the airwaves. And prepare for the incomparable Opie and Anthony Show. Only a show this big could have a pre-show this good. Welcome to the Opie and Anthony pre-show with Sam Roberts.
Welcome to another fine week of radio magic brought to you by us here at the Opie and Anthony Show. Welcome to the way we started. Welcome to the Opie and Anthony pre-show. Counting down the minutes until Opie and Anthony begin. My name is Sam Roberts, and I'll be taking your calls. 866-WOW-1-WOW, 866-969-1969. Call up now. I mean, we'll get into what's coming up on today's show, because we have a huge show today, but there's a lot to get into about Friday and all of last week. We are missing the presence of Lady Di. She is not here this morning. She will not be here this morning. And we can tell she's not here. Number one, because the spirit that she brings to work isn't here. And number two, because we could always smell her from very far away. So that's also not around. But lots of revelations about Lady Di came on Friday all the way until the end of the show. So we'll get into all of that. Lots of guests on today's Opie and Anthony show. This is a Hollywood show business guest heavy show. So we'll get into that. Already I can hear what people are talking about. Let's go to the phones, because we'll go to Bart in Pennsylvania. What's up, Bart? Welcome to the pre-show.
Hey, Sam, thanks. I heard on the post show last week, Lady Di saying that she was in the Navy and she got kicked out. I'd like to give a little bit perspective on that. She didn't just go like AWOL once. That had to be like a multiple time thing. And
well, let's hear. You stay on the phone. Stay on the phone, Bart. Let's hear this clip from. Normally, we don't review the post show on the pre-show, but this was one of those moments that we had no idea what was going on. Let's hear this revelation that we got from Lady Di on the post show on Friday out of nowhere.
Di also said that she was in the Navy.
I was.
You were in the Navy?
Yes, I was.
When were you in the Navy? My dad was on the USS Chicago. What were you on?
No, I was not on
Were
a
you
ship.
in Nam with my dad?
I was not on a ship, but I'll tell you what, I tried to find a Navy boyfriend,
Oh.
you know.
Were you in
back
the Navy?
then.
Were you enlisted?
I was enlisted, yeah.
What happened?
No, I was 2 years into the service, and I didn't like it. I just went back to a regular life, you know.
But you can't just leave. Did you go AWOL?
You can just leave. Yeah, you can.
You just walked out. People go to jail for that.
It'd be hilarious
I got an
if
honorable
they've been
discharge
looking for
because
her.
they figure I was too young to be on the job anyway.
How old were you?
I was like 19 years old, 20 years
No,
old.
you're fine. You're
But
right.
that's not too young. So
Well-
you got an honorable discharge from the Navy?
Yeah, but I had to fight that. It was not a good discharge at first.
It was a
And then it
dishonorable.
became an honorable.
Okay, all right. So
You
why
see
did
what
they
I mean?
why did they give you a dishonorable
Because
discharge?
I did not like where I was stationed at.
Where were you stationed?
I was stationed in Florida.
Okay, Florida's
All right,
beautiful.
and I
this time
kept
of
on
year.
leaving the base because I did not like my job.
Okay, where would you go when you left the base?
Where would I go?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Tell me.
Motels
What'd you do in the motels?
all over in Florida.
And what year was
I
this?
just like
Yeah.
that you didn't like the Navy. Like, I like that Lady Di just completely fucked over the Navy's rules. Like, the Navy's like, you have to
Wait,
stay on the
no, I
ship.
didn't- no,
You
I
have to
didn't.
do
But
this.
I- but
She's
you-
like, I don't like the
But I was
Florida. I don't
not
like this
first
job.
Dan Soder, of course, was with us. He was hilarious on the post show, but that came out of nowhere. So Bart, what were you saying?
that clip just infuriates me more. I knew people like that. Just scumbag.
Yeah, I like how
when-
I go. You can't just leave the Navy, and she goes, "Oh yes, you can." Well, yeah, I know that physically you can walk off the base, but it's not really. It's frowned upon.
Yeah, I mean, you go AWOL, they catch you, they bring you back, you go on restriction, which means you can't leave the base for, I don't know, 15 or 30 days, whatever they punish you for, and then you're off it, and then she goes on AWOL again and gets punished again until eventually they say, fuck it, you're out of here, we're done with this.
Mm-hmm.
But when she was in the hotel room, she was getting run train on, because that's what those bitches do.
I don't know. She told me, thank you, Bart. She told me it was all pizza and soda in those hotel rooms. Mark in North Carolina, welcome to the pre-show.
Mr. Sammy Roberts, a professional broadcaster, I've got to say that you're a hell of a man, 'cause that wagon was losing wheels right and left to the point you were just completely wheelless the other day on the after show, and you still kept that bastard in the damn road. I gotta give you that. But I like when E-Rock come in with the fact that y'all are going to investigate all this, because this should have been a Monday clip, man. It'd run the week out, but that's a hell of a thing. Look, man, I've got a bone to pick with you guys. I never did get my free book from Dr. Ian Smith on weight loss that you promised to send me, because I'm a Slavo myself.
All right, call the post show. We'll look into that for you.
Okay, brother. I appreciate y'all, man.
All right, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Bye-bye.
He's right. That should have been a Monday show, Monday story. And that's the same thing Ant felt when Ant called the post show. Let's go to track 15. Sal. Anthony on Long Island. Anthony?
How the fuck did you know this broad for this long? All this shit, and I've never heard that she was in the Navy.
Never. Why have you never brought this up?
She's never brought up the fact that she was thrown out of the Navy.
No, but I've been told I don't have to talk about it, or I don't have to do
because
it.
I like that
leave it where it is.
They kicked in her door and found a whole bunch of half-full 2 liters of Coke and some slices of pepperoni.
Were you drinking Shastas in this hotel room?
I wasn't. You know what? I wasn't a beer drinker. Yeah, once in a while I would have a beer or two, but I really wasn't.
I like that she talks about being her time in the Navy like she was a SEAL, like she had murdered, like she took out a dictator. She's like, I can't really speak about it.
My thing is,
hang on, lady, let Anthony talk.
Discharge. You got a dishonorable discharge because you kept going AWOL.
Yes. If you don't want to be there, they're not going to keep you.
Well, then why did you sign up in the first place?
I was good for a while.
You're supposed to not like.
We shut up a minute.
Oh!
Shut up! I'm trying to explain it to you.
Okay, explain it.
I was good for a while. They put me in San Diego. I loved it there. And then when we got our orders to go, this is where you go. This is what they give you they gave you a list. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go?
You picked Florida.
Right. And no, wait a minute, hold on.
Oh.
I couldn't stand Florida. Because I went to boot camp there. Now,
look, Di, let me tell you something.
What?
Dan Soder just talked about his dad being in Vietnam, and you said I didn't like being stationed in Florida.
I couldn't stand it.
You were in Florida. How bad could it have possibly been?
It was bad for me. I didn't.
Why
like
was it bad?
I didn't like.
You know
I did
what?
not like it. What?
You get stationed places in the military. You know that going in that they could put you anywhere in the world. And that's
anywhere in the world, and you're in Florida. Like, do you know how much worse it could have been?
Oh, you could have been like Okinawa.
That
sounds great.
On a ship. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did not want to go back to the place where I started.
The humidity is just so much.
Florida was a meat grinder.
So Ant ended up getting frustrated. I mean, we'll talk about this more on the main show, but it was just incredible that after her week-long internship, this is the revelation that we're left with. Everybody wants to talk about it. Let's go to Larry. Larry in Texas.
Good morning, you professional broadcaster, you.
Good morning, Larry.
I want to apologize. The last time I was on the show, you were trying to engage me, and I was so focused on Diana that I didn't respond to you, and for that I apologize.
Don't even worry about it.
Well, it's just heartbreaking to hear about Diana, and it doesn't surprise me that she was captured out of the military with a bad conduct discharge. It's just her selfishness and narcissism that drives her to that behavior, as well as drives her to her addiction.
And isn't it crazy to learn that has just always been? Because she was going into her past and everything, and that it's not like late into adulthood she developed this narcissism. It's like it's always been there.
It has always been there. I don't know if it was a learned behavior as an adolescent or it's something she came out of the womb with, but she certainly doesn't have a monopoly on it.
No, she doesn't. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Sammy. You the man, buddy.
No, Larry, you're the man. So, yeah, we'll get more into Lady Di and her story when the Opie and Anthony show begins. Also, there is a huge update. Now, we left the main show on Friday. After paying Lady Di, she ended up walking out of here with, I believe, about $365 cash money in her pocket. and it was promised to us that she would call in to the show and let us know, just to kind of make sure that she hadn't wasted the money. Because if you remember, last time we talked to her and gave her a large chunk of money, she wasted it all in one place. There is an update. I talked to some people that talked to Lady Di over the weekend. There is an update. We'll get into that in a second. But first, Marion called into the show. Marion, Lady Di's best friend, on Friday, and suggested that we have Lady Di back for this week as well. Let's hear Marion's call, track 2.
Hi, who's this?
Hey, Marion. How you doing? I hope it's Marion. How are you?
Oh, look at that sexy morning voice.
Hi, Marion. What's going on?
Oh, it's very Demi Moore.
Can you imagine rolling over and seeing this?
It would be quite an experience.
Are you laying there in a little negligee?
No. Listen,
morning breath.
Yeah. That hair is probably all askew.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's hey, Diane. I just want to give this message to Diane.
Oh, thank you.
Diane, whatever you do today, whatever you get today, don't spend it all in one place.
Okay, no, I won't. I
just want to make sure she hears that. No. I just want to say thank you, and hey, have her back next week.
We're not having her back next week.
Have her back next week. Do you know how many people just screamed no in their cars?
The feedback on this week has been overwhelmingly positive. Of course, you're going to get the people that are going to hate everything. Yeah. But in general, I mean, you do the percentages yourself, and it's been overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
But I guarantee... I guarantee... if we did another week, we would lose everybody.
Everyone.
We have to tap.
You wouldn't.
We have to tap out after today.
Yeah, she's done after today.
We have to.
You gotta have her back maybe in a couple weeks.
No, I don't think so.
We'll have her. We'll have her back for something else. Maybe the
Super
Lady Di
show.
and Marion show.
Yeah.
I think that's the next one on the docket.
Yeah.
Sam, put that on the docket.
I think it's going to be a while before we see anything like that. Let's go to Russ in New Hampshire. What's up, Russ?
Sam, what's going on? Hey, I just want to make sure. You said Lady Di got $360, right? About that?
About that.
So she needs to make sure that she's paying her taxes on that. So she really only got about $230, $220. So I'm glad that you guys put that over the air for the IRS to hear. So make sure she pays all her taxes.
Well, number one, it was a gift, and you can give gifts like that. And number two, I don't know that she still has it. Information went out on Twitter. I think Bobo started tweeting stuff, and I got a call from Dr. Steve, who has now become Lady Di's personal confidant because Lady Di got it, because he called her to try to help her, so Lady Di has his phone number and has now become his personal confidant. But, yeah, Lady Di had a troublesome weekend that we will definitely get into on the Opie and Anthony show later this morning. Dan Soder, you heard him on the post show talking to Lady Di about the Navy and all that stuff. Well, Lady Di had a bit of a crush on Dan Soder. This is Di flirting with him in her inimitable way. Let's go to track 9.
I want Dan to see what he's missing.
Okay, yeah.
Play along.
Play along.
She goes, play along.
But she'll
show you bubs.
But she is going to show.
Yeah, there they are. There they are. Hey, Lady Di's titties. Opie, I'll never forgive you for that. You just murdered any boner in March.
What are you, gay?
Yeah, come on.
What's wrong with you? What are you, gay?
Wait a minute. Oh, my God.
Why the fuck?
Did you guys have nightmares last night about me with that face on?
No, but I'm about to tonight. Mush those images together.
That was Dan Soder, the great Dan Soder. He also got into the legalizing weed conversation earlier before Lady Di, I was going to say stepped into the studio, but trudged into the studio. Let's listen to Dan Soder.
Everyone in Denver has this confidence because you're like, dude, just legal weed. They're like, yeah, I know.
We got that.
I wonder if that's helping tourism too. I wonder if a lot of people are just going, we got to just go there and check this shit out.
So I read in the paper that it was supposed to be $98 million in taxes annually. Right. They're going to clear that by the third quarter.
Wow.
They're going to blow right by the estimated 98. The roads are going to be smoother than a baby's ass.
You know how many states are jonesing for that money? Like, fuck, when do we get to do this?
Florida, like, there's a lot of cash-strapped states that you're almost like, California, why have you not already done this?
Right.
It's crazy. I don't know. It's once you see it done, you're like, well, that's just what needs to happen.
Of course.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It was like being at Toys R Us. But if I had a decent job when I was 6.
Yeah. Imagine that. You could just walk in and buy anything you want.
That's what it was like.
At 6.
Just like,
I'll take one of those bicycles.
That huge panda looks cuddleable.
No, I'll take every G.I. Joe.
And the tanks.
Right. You're just in there with weed and money.
It was, but to answer the guy's question about the grams, I think it's a little more expensive.
Okay. We got another guy that wants in badly, Jim in Jersey. He just got back from Denver. Jim.
I got back to Jersey. My boys were asking me, how could you describe what it was like? I had the hardest time trying to describe it.
Because you were high.
You were fucked up.
It's better than the first time you go to a liquor store when you're 21.
Absolutely. It's a mixture of the first time you go to a strip club and a liquor store.
Wow.
Mixed with the safety of a doctor's office. You feel safe.
And the whole time you're probably sitting there going, wait, this is really legal, right?
You feel like you're going to get fucked at any moment.
Right, this is some big scam.
I guess it would be like paradise for some people. Dan Soder was awesome. He's always awesome on the show. Great guest also was Mr. Greg Gutfeld, who was on Friday. Very funny show. Friday was perfect. I thought going into Friday, the Lady Di had run her course. Thursday was a lot of Lady Di. But Friday, I thought the show was great because Dan Soder was in for a while without Lady Di's interference. Greg Gutfeld was in for a while without Lady Di's interference. And so you got the hilarious moments of Lady Di and an actual show alongside with that, which is the perfect mix. We found the sweet spot on Friday. Greg Gutfeld was in studio, and he brought up a moment in O&A history. Let's go to track 11.
I think the last time I was here was kind of momentous. The Anthony Weiner crotch shot happened here with Breitbart. Was I think the last time
you were here that day?
Wow.
Yes, I was.
Yes.
No, wait, I wasn't here. I was here the day. I wasn't here.
I think you were there shortly after.
I actually thought I was here.
No, we had... Who was here? Private Pile was here.
Breitbart was with me the night before. We were at a bar.
And Anthony saw it the night before.
I was hanging out.
You were on Red Eye, right?
Oh, man, yeah.
And so we were together.
We did some of that drinking that night.
And that's when you said, Breitbart, come on the show.
Come on the show.
And then here he was next to that guy from Law & Order.
Yes.
He hated him, too. Private Pile hated him.
And then he took the picture from behind.
No. He just passed the picture around. He wanted that picture out.
Oh, yeah.
I've said it a million times.
That was probably your most historic show.
That was huge.
That was huge.
He didn't know how to get the picture out.
Yeah.
And he knew that if he was just careless with it, somebody would go.
He was showing everybody.
So me and Ann just took a picture of his phone as fast as we could. And
that was it, because no one that was the only way to get it out there without... Like, you did it accidentally. It was really... it's like you left it out there.
Yeah. Oops.
And then Barbara Walters had to talk about us, and she was so pissed, remember? What'd she say? Oh, I saw that picture days ago and was so mad.
Yeah.
Oh, meanwhile...
she didn't get the exclusive.
That's hilarious.
And was acting like it was no big deal.
Greg Gutfeld, always funny on the show. Let's go to John in Washington.
Hey, Sam, how are you this morning?
Good, buddy.
I'll make it quick. The line of the week, it was actually yours, and I believe it was on the Wednesday show at the very end when Lady Di coughed up some terrible phlegm ball into the mic, and all you said was, "Ooh." I laughed about that all weekend because it's kind of hard to break you down, and I think she did it midweek.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely got past the wall, and sometimes it is that simple. The reactions that Lady Di was getting out of people while she was here are completely unquestionable. That's why, I mean, I had given up. At some point, you just had to go along for the ride. Of course, throughout the week, if you missed any of it, it's all on demand. But Lady Di ended up being banned from the bathroom by Tuesday. She was banned from the bathroom at SiriusXM because she was too much of a mess. If you don't believe me, listen to Heather B. from Sway's show, Sway in the Morning. They broadcast right next door to us. Heather B., of course, was on the first season of The Real World. She stopped by the studio on Friday, the O&A studio, to talk about her experiences in seeing Lady Di and whether or not Di would be welcome on the Sway in the Morning show.
Do you know what's going on with Lady Di this week?
I have no idea. I've learned to mind my business.
Heather was giving me some strange looks when she saw Lady Di looking like the monster from Saw yesterday.
From Saw, yeah.
Yeah.
Go over to the microphone.
Yeah, what are you doing?
And then I saw you in the bathroom,
puking?
Miss Di, on Monday, vomiting and making noises out of the stall. So I just decided not to speak to you after Monday. I really did. I was like,
it was crazy.
Well, I'm sorry about
Go to the
that.
microphone.
She was in bad shape Monday and Tuesday.
She was puking in the sink. She doesn't believe in puking in the
no, the
toilet.
noise would come in. The noise was coming out of the stall.
Oh, that was coming from the other end. She had the runs.
Oh, God.
Is that true, Lady Di?
Why does everybody keep on talking about that?
But Di, is it true or false?
What?
That you had the runs?
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I was going to put makeup on today, but after that, I said, no, I don't think so.
All right, you look great
Yeah,
without makeup. You look terrific.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
A natural beauty is
Yes.
this.
Right, don't worry about
Yes.
All right, I won't worry.
So she was just grossing people out everywhere she went. Borgata Ray.
Sam, I got to say, last week was one of the greatest weeks of radio I've ever heard in my entire life. Just the dynamics with Lady Di, talking and questioning all the guests, it was absolutely great. And I want to make a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
She should go to the Comic-Con with you or send her out on the red carpet. She should be the roving reporter for the Opie and Anthony show because the questions that she's asking are just absolutely great. It was a great week of radio. I hope you guys do this once or twice a year. It was awesome.
Well, thank you, Borgata Ray, but you lose me when you say with you because I don't think I can handle that. Right now, I need a break. But I will tell you this. We're not going to take that much of a break because this Lady Di story is not over. And not even we want to get updates on her about this Navy, the story of her being in the Navy that she revealed on the post show on Friday. Even after the post show, it's not over. The story continued over the weekend. The tragedy that is Lady Di's life had a new chapter added to it. And I don't want to spoil what happened to the $300+ that we gave her. But the story that I got from Dr. Steve was not good. It's going to be a big show today, so stay tuned for that, because we're obviously going to talk about that. We're going to try to get Lady Di on the phone, which could be difficult, but we're going to try to get her and tell you all exactly what happened to her. Also, on today's show, I told you today was going to be a huge show, guest-wise. Here's who we have coming in studio. Dominic Monaghan. You know him from Lost. You know him from Lord of the Rings. Dominic Monaghan. He's been on the show a bunch of times. He's always good. He will be on the Opie and Anthony show. Not only that, Bobby Moynihan makes his first appearance on the O&A show. He's the guy who played Drunk Uncle on SNL. O&A gave him quite a beating when he did that Hurricane Sandy relief concert when he dressed up as the Drunk Uncle and did that character. O&A destroyed him. We found out later, about a year later, I interviewed him for my show here on the Opie and Anthony channel. And as it turns out, he's like a giant O&A fan. And he was YouTubing O&A clips. And he stumbled upon the clip of them talking about him. And he goes, oh, they're talking about me. Let me check this out. And so he listened to the whole thing. He's been an O&A fan for a long time. And as I was talking about last week, when we had Maria Menounos on and Patton Oswalt, how great it is to have fans of the show as guests of the show. Always works out well. So Bobby Moynihan will be here. And, ladies and gentlemen, E-Rock and I have had tents pitched all weekend long because the man himself, the immortal Hulk Hogan, will be in studio on the Opie and Anthony show later this morning. So it's a very exciting time to be here and to be listening to the O&A show. Speaking of exciting times, yes, Friday's show. Lady Di, you're talking about guests and the things we could do with them. Hulk Hogan's coming in today. So all of us behind the scenes are racking our brains. Is there something that we could do that will make this not the typical Hulk Hogan interview? Well, Lady Di had some ideas about what we could do with guests when she was on Friday. Let's listen to track 5.
Another good idea is, you remember that song?
You didn't even give us one.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, this is the one I didn't write down.
Oh, okay.
All right. You could have guests from the studio in here. I don't know about you guys if you ever want to leave your seats and do this, but you know that song "Hot, Hot, Hot" when they do that chain and they go around. They go around like around here and stuff like that.
Conga line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and you could do that with the guests.
So
you have
we
Dennis
go through the
Falcone.
halls of.
Over here, around here, like, right.
We're going to do a con. Is it conga? Conga.
Conga line. Yeah, conga line.
David Johansen's song.
Right. Feeling hot, hot, hot.
Yeah.
You missed the first idea that's not on the sheet, Sam.
Oh.
Tell Sam.
Okay, you do a conga line, right?
Whatever guests we have in here.
The song "Hot, Hot, Hot," and you have the guests and everything go all
and then we
around.
go around.
Oh, so that's the spin that makes it unique, that you're playing hot, hot, hot
right,
instead
and
of...
you go around dancing and stuff like that.
And then we do it, and it's festive, and people in the hall will laugh and everything. Right. Maybe join in.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
We got to try it, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, I'm writing it down now.
Hold on. Hold on. Another song is "Love Train." I think that's by the OJs.
It is by the OJs.
Right, and they do the conga line to that, too.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they do.
Never heard that.
I saw it done.
Is there any way we could see what it would look like with... I mean, we don't have a line, but maybe with just like one person?
Well, one person?
Like, could you demo what that would look like?
Right, yeah. Marion thought of some of these things, too, don't forget.
Oh, boy.
Of course she did.
Well, we must bring up Marion, mustn't we? Hopefully there'll be some kind of crossover, because I'm thinking... I got my producer's hat on. And I'm hoping that there's some kind of guest crossover, because I'm thinking if we could get a conga line with Hulk Hogan and Bobby Moynihan in it, I think that could be very huge. That's like an Andy Samberg type of, viral video. That's one of those things that'll just get everybody talking, especially if Hot, Hot, Hot is playing, because that's just not something you hear with conga lines usually. Holy Toledo. Snowy in Michigan.
Samuel, how you doing, sir?
Good.
I can't wait to get Lady Di on the phone, because that's going to happen sooner or later. Guess who's going to be calling me after that? Marion.
Well, you have to hear from Marion. Who knows what she's got going on?
We have to. We have to find out how everything, is doing with her, because it's all about her,
Yeah, absolutely. I do. If we did have another show where we did a week-long internship, I do think it'd be interesting to see how Marion would fare as an intern for the Opie and Anthony Show for a week. A lot to get to today on the Opie and Anthony Show. We got into, the plane. Actually, we don't have time for that clip. Instead, we were talking about, what you would do, because we're trying to figure out what's going on with this plane. Still no information about the lost plane, by the way. It's been your nonstop source for plane news here on the Opie and Anthony Show. But we were talking about, if these people were on some kind of, deserted island, what part of their own bodies they would eat first. And I thought this was very interesting. Let's go to track 3.
Jimmy James, New Hampshire, what's up?
Morning, boys.
Hey.
I just wanted to let Opie know it takes only 8 pounds of pressure to remove the ear from the body.
8 pounds of pressure to remove the ear.
Yep.
You could do that.
Do you yank down?
Yeah, how do you pull your ear off?
Or do you yank from the back?
Forward.
Start at the top and pull down. 8 pounds. That's all it takes.
That's all it would take?
That's all it takes.
How bad would the bleeding be, though?
That's mainly cartilage. I don't think there's that much blood feeding it.
I don't know. You look like fucking Marvin Nash.
Can you imagine
Reservoir Dogs.
Can you imagine you're in the middle of nowhere between Perth, Australia, and Antarctica, just floating with your ear in your hand, knowing you got to now fucking eat this thing,
chewing on it.
Do you just look at yourself and go, how did I get to this point?
Yeah, you would. You'd be like, man, in all of my fucking wildest hallucinations, I would never have thought.
I used to be a shark junk, goddammit.
I'd be in the middle of the fucking ocean eating my ear. That I just ripped off of my skull.
8 pounds is all it takes.
Pounds, baby, pounds.
We got to do that bit. Have someone rip their ear off for us.
Oh, yeah. Let's get that through legal.
All right.
I think we did come to the conclusion that it would either be the ear or the pinky that you would eat first. Well, big Opie and Anthony show to get to today. Jimmy Fallon was all over the place with viral videos over the weekend. Amazing what this guy's doing. Jimmy Carter thinks the NSA is spying on him. Plus, Dominic Monaghan in studio. Bobby Moynihan in studio. Hulk Hogan in studio. And the big update, I'm sure we'll get it. The big update from Lady Di, even if we don't get Lady Di on the phone, we will tell you what we know of the situation with what happened to the lovely Lady Di over the weekend. Listen to all of that when the Opie and Anthony show starts, which is happening right now.